Good morning. What's up, folks? How's everybody this morning? Let me get my screen sharing started. Happy, kind of really the first full week of trading with the 2024. All right, let's see. Yep, that should be the right one. Go live. That's the right screen. All right. Let me get my chat window open here. Then I'll say my good mornings. What's up, Stock Thunder? What's up, Strife? Navy Plum? Pulpit? Confused Soul? JDD? Galera? Stock Trader? Good morning. Hope everybody is doing well this morning. I'm assuming you guys can see and hear me. A-okay. What's up, Navy Plum? How are you this morning? Let me also, real quick, so I know, let's see, we did trade plans last time on BABA and Bank of America. Let's that way I don't forget which ones these are, or the ones that we want to do some quick recaps on. All right. So let's take a look at futures. What are we looking at here? Kind of what should we be thinking about, considering with regards to market direction at the moment? A few different things that I have been watching as far as potential trend lines or chart patterns that we're developing, a lot of which were invalidated, or most of which were invalidated, I should say, by that pretty huge move we had on what just kind of threw out the markets. I was looking at a potential descending megaphone pattern here that was definitely confirmed, but we broke out of that ascending trend line. Haven't really seen a back test of it yet, so that might be interesting, or I may keep this here on the chart just to see if we get a back test and bounce off it, especially if we catch some kind of confluence with that. So I'll be leaving that one on my chart for now, but this descending trend line that I was also looking at kind of more as a potential, only really had two good touches, never really was confirmed, so this pretty much useless. And this descending trend line that was the bottom of this megaphone pattern, four really good touches off of it, really nice bounce that started this confluence move up. We did talk about a potential base forming here around this 4,775 level. Let's see, what was the low of that candle? 4702. I mean, from a futures perspective, that's about as almost dead on as you can be. But we also had some help here. If you look at the 4-hour chart from the 200 SMA, they're moving up. And again, that bottom of that megaphone pattern that we were in, that trend line also catching. So kind of a triple confluence. That's a fantastic setup to go long. Unfortunately, it was one I didn't notice till after it already happened. Again, fantastic setup there if you kind of had your head on a swivel and saw something that I didn't at the right point in time. I saw it, just saw it too late to really do anything about it. Otherwise, we would have definitely been in some SPY call swings there for at least a test of this trend line, which ultimately did happen. But again, we've broken out of that. However, we are struggling with this 47.9750 level. Not too surprised by that, especially with the fact that we did ultimately flip the buying pressure to selling pressure here. From a Neptune perspective, we are still under a short signal, and really kind of tested the highest parts of or the heaviest parts of the selling pressure here from a Neptune perspective. So not too surprised to see that the struggle has kind of ramped up in this sort of confluence area. Again, confluence of selling pressure anywhere in this range, but especially as we get to the perimeter of the flag here and try to flip it back to the upside. And then also lots of pressure here at 47.9750, with that being a daily resistance currently here on ES. So, oh, I'm sorry, there was a long, I was gonna say, I'm surprised there wasn't a long signal. It's kind of hiding down there in the mix. I was gonna say, well, that move yesterday, I'm surprised we didn't get a long signal. But again, for me and how this Neptune indicator works, the flag kind of as always takes precedence, and you certainly don't ever take entries, even if you do get that long signal right up against the bulk of the selling pressure. So again, ultimately, overall, still bearish, back below the 100 SMA here on the 400 or 4-hour chart. Sorry, 100 SMA on the 4-hour chart is what I was trying to say. And there is some bullish momentum though that has kind of come along with that. We'll certainly be interested to see what happens if we backtest this 47.59.75. That's a weekly now support with some confluence on it at the moment. So this could be a good spot to look for bounces if you're overall leaning bullish in the near term. Me personally, I would still like to see, to kind of get a really good long swing entry, a test of the bottom of this demand zone and this 46.60.75. I talked about 47.75 being a potential base, but this kind of being really where I'd like to see an entry point for some long swings. So I'd like to see us pull back to that, long story short. But, this could develop into a really nice confluence up here and be the new base that we really want to focus on. I've already seen it tested as resistance here recently, so now that we're back over it, a back test of that of support with some confluence and it overall being a weekly level on ES, I think are all pretty key factors to there being a potential higher base that could form here and ultimately push us up to try to test this next supply zone overhead. So with that, let's do a couple of trade recaps on our trade plans from the last live stream we did last Thursday. While I'm working on those, go ahead and start hitting me with some ticker requests. If you guys are new to joining me for the live stream, first of all, welcome and good morning. Thank you for being here. Second of all, if you are looking at a screen that is full of, avatar tiles and you don't see the chat where maybe Plum and Strife said good morning, or Roxy Rozier just asked for end phase for me to chart and put together a trade plan for. If you're not seeing that, there is a little chat bubble, little word bubble icon, top right hand corner of your screen. If you're here in the morning live stream channel, click on that. That'll open the chat section so you can type and interact and do all that good stuff. So anyway, hit me with hey, what's up, Rhea Ponley? Yeah, I take it you just found the chat section of the channel, so I'm glad you found it. Welcome, glad you're here. If you have a ticker request, what's up, Darko? If you have a ticker request, please feel free to drop those in the chat, and I will try to get through as many as I possibly can. What's up, Chris? Good morning, my friend. How are you? Hope your 2024 is off to a beautiful start. Let me get some coffee in here real quick. Okay, so let's take a look at these trade plans that we did Thursday's live stream. Baba, has played out nicely to the downside. Interesting bounce here off one of our support levels, a little bit premature prior to hitting PT3. That was a pretty long move down to PT3, or a pretty, I should say, big move from PT2 to PT3. So maybe I was a little greedy on that third price target. Baba looks like it could be trying to form higher lows here in this 70.95 to 71.36 area, but ultimately, again, fantastic performance from Neptune here. Again, just talked about this a moment ago on ES. Long signal took us right up into the bulk of the selling pressure, also with confluence here. So fantastic short setup for those of you using Neptune. Pushing us to the downside, ultimately flipping the other Neptune indicator I've done, the trend ribbon down, short signal, that pushed us down. We had a put entry here at 74.22. Well, what happened? Gap down below that, back tested pre-market, continued that rejection down to PT1 within that same trading day. Another gap down to PT2 plus, caught support right around this, 70.95 level that I had here. Again, maybe that should have been our PT3. I'm not. Yeah, I kind of, looking back at this, I remember debating between, do I play this prior resistance but just wasn't hitting it too cleanly, or did I play the overall move off of the support that took us up near where I was looking at for PT2, and maybe I just picked wrong on that third price target. It happens, but overall, fantastically profitable trade, I'm sure. I mean, huge move. What was that? Overall, I mean, 74.22 down to well, even if you just count PT2 down to 72, so $2 move, you know, in less than 2 days, or really $2 plus, you wouldn't have been able to really get out until you were down there to 70.95. So $4 move to the downside, really. So off that back test of that put entry. So very nice, played out beautifully there on BABA. Congrats if you followed that plan. Bank of America. Bank of America looks like it was a little bit of a fake out. Also, let's see. Let's look at this on a smaller time frame. Yeah, that looks like a pretty convincing break to me. I probably would have, had I been watching this one. I don't personally like Bank of America. I feel like it just kind of moves slow. So I don't trade it that much. I mean, nice test of our resistance, broke over, looked like it was back testing and wanted to bounce. I mean, I probably would have jumped in calls on that for sure. But overall, broke down below and even back tested and rejected the stop loss. So I definitely would have stopped out of this without ever having a shot at profit. So, you know, again, not all trade plans work out, not 100%. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything I would have noticed or done differently. I thought we had a pretty good plan. It was definitely following this kind of a symmetrical triangle pattern. Broke out of that. I'm surprised that didn't get continuation, really. I mean, we're still overall holding up. One other thing I did notice, at least from a Neptune perspective, it is overall holding the bullish momentum still. But yeah, again, just kind of choppy, flat. Bank of America, slow mover, like I said. But interesting, we do have a little bit of a confluence here, back test. So keep your eye on Bank of America to potentially bounce today, though. Retesting the top of this symmetrical triangle pattern that, like I said, it has definitely broken out of. So potentially some confluence there, although this trend line has been invalidated several times now at this point. But we do have the 100, that aside, even if we take that away, we do have the 100 SMA right here. I mean, if it could push back over, I'd say the pre-market high, I'd be surprised if it didn't at least take a shot at 34.55 or this recent rejection a little bit higher than that. But yeah, I'm not sure why this one didn't work out. But again, sometimes trade plans just don't work out, but you always have to have a plan. All right, so let's take a look at what ticker requests have come in while I was talking about those. Again, we have Roxy Rozier request end phase. So let's take a look at that. Apparently, I've done some charting on end phase before. It's not one I've looked at often or traded often. I know that. I'll tell you that off the top of my head. But probably helpful that we have at least a little bit of a head start on the levels there. All right. And let's see. Let's at least get 2 up there so I don't have to circle back. NVIDIA. I'd be interested to take another look at NVIDIA, actually. Could be time. It's been a while since I've looked at NVIDIA, just because it's, I just, it's hard for me to explain this, but I don't love, I like volatility. Volatility is great. It's what makes options fun to trade, but kind of like the high dollar, heavy volatility. I feel like the premiums on the contracts are just overpriced, and there's something innate in me that just, has a real hard time feeling like I'm overpaying for something, even if it's something that's going to generate money for me, potentially. You got to spend money to make money. So I don't know. Maybe that's a mindset I need to shift around a little bit. But overall, it has served me well. Accounts continue to grow. All right. So let's start with end phase. Let's see where we're at with this one. And for now, I'm going to have my indicators so we can just focus on getting some price levels in here, because it's definitely been a while. It looked like I did a trade plan or something to the extent of a trade plan on it way back when. Oh yeah, back in October 2022. Looks like that played out heavily to the downside. Just continued down from there. Golly, Enphase is beat up. Okay, well, sometimes beat up tickers are the best ones to keep your eye on. Good golly. This is one I don't think I've ever really got perspective on, but oh my. It's made some wild moves. Interesting bounce in this area. Yeah, if there is a level there, it's probably sitting right about here. Yeah, for sure. Faux show. All right. If we put in any other, I'm guessing the answer is probably no. Interesting double bottom here on this level on the weekly chart, but not enough to confirm. Let me also just long here while I'm thinking of it. Clean this up real quick because it's old news. Get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably going to do it from a weekly perspective. Well, has this? I think this is a weekly level, actually. Noticing that rejection, but also kind of backtracking through. I'm seeing some good tests on that, both sides. All right. I think it would also make sense to map out at least one more potential base level, just in case. All right, so real quick, I'm going to check how it moves pre-market after hours. I think we're okay to use extended hours for this one, so let's dig into this daily chart real quick. So get that for now. And there's a level probably right about here, daily level. Let's see if we can also, yeah, this looks better on the daily chart. I think it might be just a nudge lower. Here, key this one down. All right, sitting right about there. So that got us situated. Okay, let's see. Daily level there. There. We need to figure out what's going on between these two weekly levels, if anything. And this is one that makes wild news. Yeah, the answer's not really anything. Just kind of those two weekly levels. At least from a daily perspective. Let's check this one little area real quick, and then I think we'll be good to move on to some hourly levels and push through this plan. Let's right about there. Yeah, there's something there. This is an interesting, it's nothing confirmed, but we'll keep it on watch. All right, where does that leave us? You know what? I think there is a daily level right here. Interested to see if this daily bounce is showing us anything. Yep, I think there's something right about there. Okay, let's move on to the 4-hour chart. See if anything kind of this little move throughout this range gives away where this level might be sitting. I think it is sitting right about here, actually. Yeah, it's more like right there. Oh, that's an interesting level. Take a look at this. See if we get some tests of this level that might help confirm it. Otherwise, I don't want to potentially use it if it's not useful. Probably the right way to say that. Come on, where do you come back through this range? There we go. Not all that useful, actually. Good golly, it's some ugly price action through here. I think we do have something. If there is a level in this neck of the woods, I think it's sitting right about there. But again, very weird, ugly wolf price action. I don't know. I'm on the fence on that, so I'm gonna leave that for now. I want to call that a 4-hour level if it's not really. Also, maybe we can also see something now in this range. Yeah, this level I was looking at potentially sitting right there. I think there's something right about here. I'd want to watch that level. It's not really hitting, but at the same time, it's hitting within I think a reasonable margin of error and flipping support to resistance in short order. And honestly, that's all the price action we're going to have to work with in this little range. So for limited, got to use what you got. This is also an interesting level. Let's see if we maybe see some tests of this moving forward, and then we'll move on to the next time frame. Yeah, I think it's just maybe just a tiny bit higher. Yeah, right there. That is a pretty good level, actually. Okay, that's good. This I'm still on the fence about. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Definitely something sitting right here. Yeah, right about there. Is this? Yeah, I think this is right here. And it's a 2-hour level. So that answers that question. This is another interesting one. I think we're going to want to keep on watching. But I think the other thing I need to do, I might be getting into the weeds here. Maybe not. Maybe. I think we might be good, actually. I think I've mapped out most of what we're going to need, at least for a trade plan for the near term. Do have an hourly level here that might come into play as a price target for the upside. Yeah, definitely one here. It could wind up being an entry or stop, possibly. Let's see. Something sit right in there too. And yeah, I don't think we're gonna get much help, even if we go back. Yeah, it's something right about there. And yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Let's see, I think we may have a trend developing in here. It's iffy. Let's check it. Yeah, probably sitting right about there. We do. I did notice also when we were zoomed out, interesting bounces. Let's take a look at this like this. If there was a trend, or if there was the trend was trying to develop off these bounces, it's still intact, but not confirmed yet either. So I just keep that on watch for now. I don't think that's confirmed, but it's interesting. All right. Also, maybe have. It's kind of ugly, but nah. I was gonna say it almost looks like an inverted cup and handle, but not really seeing that sort of handle formation. All right. Flip our indicators on. Let's start planning this out. So yep, I think what we're looking for on end phase, break over this 121.50 level. I have my stop. Yeah, off this 117.87. First target, I like up here, 26.99. I think this is maybe, just looking at this on this time frame, it's just a little tiny bit lower right there. I like this 126.77 first price target. Honestly, I think it does though make a move up to about this 129.94. But just looking at sort of this move and how we've seen the price action sort of ping pong between those two daily levels, I wouldn't want to totally ignore that. So I think smart to start scaling some out there at 126.77. The next target at 129.94. Third target, I mean, honestly, it's probably this 131.79. Interesting support catch there. We broke down and then we really started to find resistance very near that, kind of in between these two levels, ultimately rejecting the price lower. Just seems a little tight for a third price target though. But I mean, I could conceivably see, looking at this a little bit more zoomed in, I think this hourly level is actually more like right there. You know what? Let's take a shot at it, get into 134.39. Just again, you should be moving your stops up, so ultimately by the time we get to price target 2, there's, no way you should wind up even back at break even, let alone red. So it's not like I should be too concerned about people holding for too long and then winding up letting a green trade go red trying to get to 134.39. But I do want to try to catch these targets as cleanly as possible. It could reject again a little bit higher than or right around that 131, a little bit lower, around that 131.85. But I think there's a decent shot at getting to 134.39 if we can clear over PT2. So just make sure you're scaling out for profit the whole way up and moving your stops with the trade plan. All right, downside. Yeah, this kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Entry below 111.60. Stop loss definitely at this weekly level here at 113.80. So nice, tight, well-defined area of selling pressure, risk reward, good setup. Because I already like 107.79 as a first target to the downside, and then we really start to make some moves. I think at least down to this 104.36. Honestly, I think it does drop lower, but again, don't want to be greedy. Want to make sure we're being smart about taking profit the whole way down, and then yeah, I think ultimately down to this daily level here at 99.38. All right, so this is what our trade plans look like. In phase trade. All right, so what we're looking for here on in phase is a break over 121.50. That should give us targets at 126.77, 129.94, and 134.39. Boom, boom. Stop loss average down at 117.87. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 111.60. That should give us targets at 107.79, 104.36, and 99.38, with a stop loss average down at 113.80. For those of you who are new to kind of watching these charts or following these trade plans, if you ever need to refer back to these heavy, solid lines are our entry levels. This one to the upside, as you can see, we get into the green area of profit over it. So that indicates this is an upside trade plan. That is a call entry, with the heavy dotted line being your stop loss and the dash lines being your price targets. Downside, very same concept, except for the green starts below our heavy solid line. So that means this is your put entry. These are your put price targets. And this heavy dotted line is your stop loss average down. The white shaded area is your area of risk. Green shaded area, area of reward. Same thing here. White area of risk, green area of reward. I like the setups on both of those plans. So those are your end phase trade plans. Go get some money with them. All right. NVIDIA was the next request. We've had a couple people talk about it, ask about it. Where are we at with it? It's been a while since I've looked at it. I mean, I'm always keeping an eye on what it's doing in my watch list, but not really paying attention to it too closely on the charts. So I'm a little bit out of the loop, you might say, but that's all right. I'll get up to speed quick. So, whoops, I didn't want to hide my drawings. I wanted to hide my indicators. I want to focus on price action for a minute here. Get rid of some of these old drawings. I gotta move quick because I maybe have 10 minutes to try to knock this out. So it's all right. I like a little bit of pressure. All right. Fix that up. So where are we at? Well, we're up into some fib extensions. This 515 Yeah, 515.97. That's a fib extension I drew. I don't know how long ago. Performed really nicely, actually. That's like laser accurate for something that was, at least when I drew it, a level that had never been tested by NVIDIA before. And maybe that was the first time it's ever been tested by NVIDIA, isn't it? No, we were up through there once before. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what's up in this range, which might be nothing. Yeah, I mean, this is the first time we've really tested this range, so this is a fib extension. I don't think I put a date on these, but as you can see, I have a couple more in the same set still to the upside that NVIDIA has yet to test, but really patting myself on the back on catching this. You know, I mean, not laser accurate, it's maybe just a tiny little bit lower like that, 515.80, but shit, for calling a level that NVIDIA had never seen before that gets tested cleanly and then flipped and bounces, that's a pat yourself on the back moment right there. All right, so enough patting myself on the back. Let's get to figuring out how we're going to handle this, because we do need to do some more fib extensions here. Let's see. Might actually do a couple sets. See a couple of interesting moves here. This is a little bit. Let's see, what are we on? The hourly chart. Let me look at this level real quick, because again, I have not kept my eye on NVIDIA. There could be some support and resistance levels I need to add, and there is something, oops, shoot, sitting right here on the 4 hour that I think is going to be useful for the first set of fib extensions I'm going to draw. Also curious about this rejection. 497.40. That rejection does happen right around that gap. Wonder if I have this level a little low. I think it sits more like right there. Just looking at. I know it seems like I'm just catching that wick, but that kind of caught my eye. I think it really kind of confirms through this range right in there. Okay. And last but not least, do I have this level? Yeah, I think some of these were drawn with minimal price data. NVIDIA has had some time to kind of really develop its levels up in this range a little bit better. I think this guy's sitting even just a little nudge higher, right about there. Okay, so I think what we're looking at for this first set of fib extensions is essentially here, here, to there. But it's not really adding any in the range where I think we need them, so that set's not all that useful. So then this is kind of a very quick move, but if there's one here, it just moved fast. We're sitting right about in there. Which give us a new set of extensions. So this, again, becomes a little bit of a guessing game, but we're going to make some very educated guesses here as far as what NVIDIA might do. It's the best we can do. Let's flip our indicators back on. Take a look at one more thing. Yeah, not really much help, actually. Damn it, Chris. I hate it when they make you do your work. Just get. I need help with. Was that same lady? Does she need help with her password again? All right. So I think what we're looking for is really kind of the gosh, I hate to do it this way, but sort of the best we can do. Although we could take that back. Let's see what this gives us. I'm curious. Hmm. Yeah, this is just, it's tricky. Oh, whoops. I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave that on for a sec. Yeah, it's just, I think I feel like that's forcing it. I don't want to force it. It's not helpful. So, I think the only thing we can do is just shoot for our next sets of fib extensions to the upside. I think we've got a smart PT1, so we start taking profit at a good point. Make sure you're aggressively moving your stops up on this one because, again, it's a little bit of a guessing game up in this range with NVIDIA essentially at all-time highs. All right, downside. Where does that become kind of more likely? I think what I'm looking at is a break below this 503.42 level. Stop up here at 509.43. That stuck out pretty quickly to me, as well as the target here, 495.52. It's a lot easier when you have actual price action to use. I'll go back and take a couple more looks at these upside fib extensions. I feel like we're generally pretty good with them, but it seems like a very large move over 537.93, but it's price discovery, so it could be a huge move over that and just smashes through. For all I know, by the end of the week, NVIDIA will be at 1,000. I mean, it's the ticker that can defy gravity at the moment. I think they also got a lot of announcements about automakers using their chips for onboard AI in vehicles. I think that's been talked a lot at this Consumer Electronics Show. All right. This is what we're looking at for NVIDIA, and then I've got to go do the daily SPY plan, which for those of you who are new, probably about as good as it can get for setting you up for trading SPY, and that will get posted in the options watch list every morning, as hopefully before market open, but worst case, especially if these live streams run a little bit long, just after, within the first 5 minutes of market open for sure. So, what are we looking at for NVIDIA? Well, we're looking for a break over 531.84 to try to play more targets to the upside. We're shooting for these fib extensions, so again, kind of a shot in the not total dark, but also not totally bright light of day. Gives us targets at 537.93, 555.24, and can't see this, 566.30 with a stop loss average down at 527.09. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 503.42 with targets at 495.52, 489.43, and 483.40 with a stop loss average down at 509.43. That is your NVIDIA trade plan and your Enphase trade plan, and I want to thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. As always, we will be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I hope you'll be able to make it back to join me then. So with that, we're going to wrap things up for the day. Strife, you're very welcome, my friend. Very good to see you. Raya, Ponley, hope everybody enjoyed this and wants to come back on Thursday. So like I said, we'll be back Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And with that, I'm going to hit you guys with the thing I hit you with every time I talk to you, which is plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there, have a fantastic trading day. I will see you guys in the chat, and I will see you back here Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Take care. Have a great day. Go get some green.